And we're live.
Okay, great. So this is the first episode of the podcast that we're doing. Now, this is just going to be pretty lax. Um, I'm just going to pull out my notes because I closed it off. It's great with me. So I've got a list of things here to go through. So I did add just one to the list before we started because I thought it'd be quite a bit interesting to kind of discuss. So recently, Niels, I believe, put out a survey, pretty much just going over everybody's thoughts on how the clan is, how they feel in it, where they are, just their overall opinion on how things are going. So, how do you guys feel about the thing and when you saw the results? Do you guys have any thing that kind of stood out to you?
I think the only one that would have seen the results besides you was me.
Yeah,
Did he actually put it out to everybody?
I think he did. Yeah, I'm not very sure. Did he?
I don't think so. I think he just sent it to the council.
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
see any
really,
results.
yeah, I think it was just kind of an inner thing just for us to see. But I mean, really, the results were, I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. Like people aren't hating the clan or anything like that. Most of the answers said that people favored the training aspect of the clan, and the dislikes was just inactivity from members. And the reason that people don't play is because nobody else is on, which is kind of the same thing I've been pushing every open forum meeting. Is that the only way to get activity is for us to be active. You know, if we're not on the server, nobody else is going to be there. But I mean, really, it was good. It was good input as far as like for the leadership and showing us what we need to focus on. Um, and people said events was a big deal. You know, they really like events. They said that they wanted to. A lot of people. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people. There was several that said they didn't feel like their input was heard. But my answer to that is we have an open forum meeting every month, and you know that's a prime opportunity for you to show up and to give your input, and that will be the council there to hear it, and then the rest of the clan to hear it. And then those that complain that you know they wanted to be able to do events, we took care of that a long time ago because there's a section on the forums for you to go and apply to create an event or apply to have an event or host an event.
Yeah, you're pretty
Um,
much open to make whatever you want for
yeah,
events, and then just get a
and
green light on, and you're all good to go.
right. I mean, it's really easy. People, the I think the issue comes where people don't research um, before they complain. it's the is
Yeah,
the big issue there,
I've made that mistake myself before.
and it probably falls on the instructors and masters also. That means that's something that we need to cover at the
Yeah, I
start of
actually put that
training.
on here. Yeah, we have had a bit of a switch up with Jin kind of stepping down from the academy and teaching the initiates and Padawans and such. And now you're in charge of the initiates, and Niels is going to be running the academy and teaching the Padawans up to knighthood. Um, so yeah, and what do you think you're going to be doing for initiate training moving forward?
Well, I think the well, I don't like the word old system. The training system that we used prior was a very successful system.
Mhm.
Um, we had we had good promotions. We didn't have failures. People were learning at an advanced rate. My thing is for training, I don't want when you leave your training, I don't want you to just know what you need to know for just your trials. Like I want you to be ahead of the curve because it's a lot easier as an instructor to train you if you already have at least an idea of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's good to have that extra
And
boost.
so the initiate training will be focused on obviously your basic combat, force and saber, um, and the uh, the trial is a big thing. I normally use for my curriculum. I will normally take the trials and break them down into pieces and use the trial as kind of my guideline for what I need to train you in. Like I know, okay, the trials focus on the basic force powers, so I need to train you in those. You have a tournament, so I need you to at least have an idea of how to fight with your saber in order to, give you a chance in winning that tournament. Um, and we just kind of compound off of that. Like the initiate training to me is the most important because it gives you a first off, it gives you an idea of what to expect for the rest of your time in the academy, and it builds a foundation of what type of fighter and player you will be for the rest of your time playing this game. When I back in the old days when you started training under a master, you got lucky enough to find somebody good enough that was willing to teach you. Um, they would generally try and see what your foundation was. Like what do you know as far as mechanics? Can you swing a saber? Can you move properly? Do you know what all you're able to do for those swings? And with that saber, and then they built off of that, and that's kind of the same thing I use. Um, but I think it's going to be great. We have quite a few initiates on.
Oh yeah, I
Our
think it's the most we've
initiates
ever
in.
had.
The issue will now come is getting them into uh, training sessions, and I think the problem with that was when they joined, there was nobody pushing for that. There was nobody. There was no training sessions for them to attend, so they got used to just um, that not being a thing. So we'll just have to change the mindset. And I think once they get in it, they'll figure out, hey, this is really cool. This is why I joined, and hopefully that activity picks up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
This is
definitely
a
I
look
think
quick.
that's
into
gonna
that.
happen. I think that once the initiate training starts up again, that all of the initiates are definitely going to be a lot more active because I'll admit
Yeah.
when I first got here, I was a little bit wary of how the training would go, but once I got there, I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot really quickly, and I wanted to keep getting on so I could learn more and so I could learn more about the people that I'm training with and get used to
Right,
everybody
exactly.
working
I
together.
mean, that's kind of the idea. It's two birds with one stone. You're learning, but it's also promoting activity. Like the more excited you are, and to me, that's always been the most exciting part of this game is getting better. And once you start seeing that improvement, then you want more. So hopefully that's what we get. And to me, initiate is the most important part because if we don't get them excited now, we'll probably lose them.
Yeah, you have to
Right.
establish interest and a solid foundation of what the training's going to be like, before you
Right.
move them up. And what else do we
But
got here? Yeah, so recently, I want to say around a month ago, there was a poll for new server settings changes from our usual uh, single player settings for damages and with mixed with J Academy Plus to either I think it was both servers being multiplayer and I think it was just leave everything the same or J Academy Pro. And it just came out on top with J Pro being the most voted for choice, and then we changed the server up to that. And now, it being a month later and having everybody warmed up to it, how are you guys feeling with the changes so far?
I want to hear Branwen's opinion on that before I talk.
So when I heard that the server settings were being changed to JA Pro, I'll admit I was a little bit nervous, mainly because since I started playing this game, I was always on JA Plus with the JA Plus Plus add-on to it, and that's what I was used to. So I was honestly nervous that, okay, this is going to be completely different. I'm going to have to relearn everything and get used to different damages. That wasn't the case at all. When I got back onto the server when my computer came in, I noticed that I was a lot more comfortable with the saber combat and everything, and the damages were really, really like they were pretty much spot on, except for some minor dual trouble and stuff like that. Um, but I find that JA Pro is a lot more comfortable than JA Plus is. I have a lot more fun with JA Pro, and it's just adds that kind of like it's a little bit more spontaneous, if you will, and it adds a lot of excitement to my experience with the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think what people didn't understand was when we switched to JA Pro, you're not actually changing your damages. Like the saber damages and the general damages are still single player damages, same as what we had in JA Plus. And then the force power, the force duels, is still multiplayer damages, which is what they wanted from the start. Um, so like your feel shouldn't really change aside from the fact that in general it's base because you if you don't have J Pro, J plus plus, Open JK or Eternal JK, your game's going to load out of base. So that's the biggest change. So really your general sabering shouldn't be any different. It's the same damages. None of that's changed. The whole idea was to give both the force guys and the saber guys what they wanted.
Right.
Um, like I was real hesitant because um, the NGN's always been a single player clan, NJA plus. And to me, changing the core of what you are it can make or break you. So like if if all of a sudden we make this change and we lose who we are, that
It
was
can be like
my
shooting in
fear.
the dark.
Right. It's one of those steps as a leader. I'm real, I really wasn't excited about it, like I was kind of worried because one of the first times we've ever had just an open vote for the clan to decide who we are, and normally it falls on us as leader and council, but I think it really worked out. And I think a semi democratic clan is the only way to really allow your members to feel like they're actually part of the community, to feel like they have a say and that the clan is something they help make over just something they joined to, and just kind of are a part of.
Right.
That's what we want for NGN. I want you guys I want everybody to feel like it's your home, it's your family, it's yours, And to do that, you got to have a say. You got to have a feel, or like you got to have that feeling of, I'm part of this, and this is this way because of me too, So it's hard for me. I'm one of those guys that I really like control, and and relinquishing it is difficult. So it's a
It can
learning
hurt.
experience for me also.
Now you see what we're
And
talking about is communism. I'm kidding.
yeah, yeah, you know, I'm I'm the regeneration of Hitler to hear some of you guys talk. But whatever. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
I think
definitely
it
trying
went
to.
great.
Yeah, we've definitely tried to add a bit of transparency between High Council and just the rest of the members. We don't want it to be just us and then them. We just want to be a full group of a clan, but we also want to have like some people who can make decisions, but also want to provide the option for the rest of the clan to be a part of it.
Right, and this is the first time in history we've had open forum, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure we're probably the only clan that does that. Most clans still go off of the council will meet, and then we'll come out and tell you what we decide. And it's a very secretive feel, like, oh, it's all in private, the chat's all in private, and that's how we ran for a long time. But as I said a second ago, that's not it. There's a huge separation there, and that's not what just like Voss just said, that's not what we want as a clan going forward. We want you guys to understand why we're making decisions and what they are and the effect it's going to have on you. And hopefully that's working well. I haven't really heard any more complaints from that. That was a
I
big issue.
personally think it's working really well.
I know
Yeah,
that was like the biggest complaint from people originally was that, oh, well, there's a separation there, it's too secretive, so we make changes, and we probably will continue to make changes as we learn. It's a different world. um
yeah, that's why it's going to make surveys like we did because it's not like for council we're not always aware of how the rest of the community feels or how it is in their shoes. So it's good to get like a firsthand like opinion or like perspective from the rest of the community with something like that.
right. It's I mean, it is a very different world. Used to be, that's what people expected out of the clan. When you
Yep.
join a clan, there's the leaders and there's the council, and those are the guys that make all the decisions. We're here and we're part of the community, but like that's just the way it is. And that, I mean, I guess because it's 2018, we got a very progressive new generation, and most of the people playing this game now
New
are people
generation ninja.
that exactly, that they're people that started, you know, in the, I don't know, mid 2000s instead of 2003, and
Yeah.
yeah, we're exactly what our name is. We're new generation ninjas. We're constantly evolving and trying to become the best we can for the members. That's what I care about. This isn't for me. I don't really, I don't get much but a headache half the time and a bunch of extra work.
I
If I
can.
did it, if I did it for me, I'd start charging people for membership or something. I'd get something out of it.
What is
But
this, Club
that's
Penguin? We're gonna have
No,
fucking.
we just need to
We got
change our
Builders
tags
Club.
to we need to change our tags to EA.
not exactly. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
like loot crates and stuff. Like if you
New
wanted to use the
new
skin,
NGN path, the EA
You
path.
can either work
Everything that
up.
people
You
ask you
can
to do, you have to pay for.
you can either work up to Knight and Master, or you can get the new deluxe edition of New Generation Ninja and get to Master immediately.
I'm not even going to get into clans actually pay to promote because that's actually happening
All right,
in some places.
We'll
But
allow
jump
you to
jump to
use a green
master
lightsaber
from
if you pay
Initiate.
$13.
Jump to master from Initiate. Only $25 on Steam.
exactly, it's pretty close to that. Like it's not quite that dramatic, but it like some paths access and like trial passing, you can actually pay to pass instead of actually doing it, which is freaking ridiculous. I don't like the idea. That's why I'm really against events that like are monetary winnings. I
Yeah.
don't like that because as soon as you introduce money into this game, it it becomes a whole nother animal.
I'll give you 2,000 Robux if you talk about making me master in the next day.
Right?
No, if you give us those Robux, we'll think about it. That's all we'll give you.
All right, how about 3,000?
Maybe.
You have to make me an offer I can't refuse.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll give you 20,000 Robux, and I'll send you a body pillow in the mail.
Oh, that's a deal.
Rolls and take off night. Put Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
I just saw all my little text areas just flip around because he was giving me fucking rolls.
Okay, there. You were master for a half second. So
Woo! I'm moving
yeah.
up in the world.
Woo! It's a big thrill. Yeah, no. Okay, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, so Doc and Abizaga retired on the same day.
Yeah, Doken.
That was pretty shocking, honestly.
Not well, maybe to the general membership.
Well,
Like,
I mean, it was shocking to me because I've been gone for 3 months because I've been wanting to smash my head against my laptop.
Yeah, well, that can do it.
yeah, I mean, those of us in leadership kind of saw it coming. You know, Abby's been pretty absent.
Yeah, he's been kind of radio silent, especially
and-
with just council in general.
And then Doken was the same way. Like, you know, he wasn't really getting involved in stuff, and he was busy. You know, and that happens all. I mean, look, when we first started this clan back up last year, that was the first thing I told people was, you know, I understand it's, you know, especially those of us that originated in this clan, you know, we're all grown now with jobs and family, and, you know, I understand real life stuff. But there also comes a time that, and I think we all go through phases of being, I mean, it's an old game, and this game can get pretty monotonous if you don't change it up, and getting bored with it. And I think that's kind of what, that's kind of what happened with both of them.
Like that
I can't allow myself to be bored anymore. Last time I got bored of this game, I got demoted. So, you know, it's like, you know, you got...
Like
you can't exactly get bored anymore.
That was my issue. When I had my laptop, in fact, I still have it. It's rotting under my bed right now. But what's it called? I didn't really want to get on the game anymore because it was extremely monotonous and I just found it boring. But when I got my my new desktop in the mail, I was sitting there and I was thinking on how I could bring my activity up and possibly move up in the ranks and everything. And my idea was to bring my activity up, I should be more involved in the clan, which is why I wanted to do the podcast, because that'll give me something else to do besides, okay, open Steam, get on Jedi Academy, go into the server and kill people, you know? Like,
or get killed.
Right.
Or get killed.
And
a lot.
that burden falls on the leadership, where we have to figure out ways to get people interested. That's why, like, I call for weekly events, you know, big events for, you know, once a month at least. There's a lot of things we're trying to put in place that doesn't happen overnight, but that's what we're asking, is that people just kind of hang on, give us a few, you know, let us work this stuff out. And I think it'll shock you once we actually get that stuff into play. It's just hard to do.
Monkeys has been dispatched to your location.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I feel like I'm dealing with sometimes, you know. But it's I mean, that's kind of our burden of, you know. And I'm always thinking of that, like, what can I do to, you know, breathe some more life back into this. I kind of liked I looked at an interview on JK Hub that one of the leaders of Jedi of Freedom had with the JK Hub staff, and he said to keep a clan active and to keep a clan growing over years, you know, you have to reboot every now and then. And that's what we did with the rank structure and stuff. Like, it's a reboot. And if you noticed, activity level spiked at that time, and people got kind of excited, like, oh, there's, you know, there's new ranks, there's kind of a new feel, right? And it's the same thing. It's just not easy, and people don't understand that until you get into leadership positions and then you start having 20 people yell at you or 20 people stop being active.
Yeah, especially with like a
And
near 15-year-old, like in October, 15 years old cult game. It's like with like I don't know, clans that are like on the newest Halo game or Call of Duty. Like it's easy for them. And but like if you got a game, if you're using a game that's like really really old and not extremely popular at all, it can be really hard to like keep that activity going because you have to provide the content yourself. You have
Yeah,
to
because
make
like
the events yourself. The game doesn't provide that for you like new games can. Like,
with
you gotta
with the
make
whole,
yourself.
this happens every year where a game will come out and then it'll get a massive cult following just out of the goddamn blue.
Hmm.
This year's example was Fortnite. People are absolutely obsessed with this game, and it's good that new games are coming out. People are having fun and everything, and that makes it very difficult to keep a really old game like Jedi Academy alive and kicking, and nobody goes over and pulls the plug on it. Um, it can get pretty difficult. And honestly, like, I'm getting sick of the newer games. I like to play the older stuff, like JKA or Team Fortress 2, which came out in 2007, or like Super Mario Sunshine, Sonic Adventure, all that crap. Because new games just aren't doing it for me. Like, I don't sit there and play Fortnite. I don't sit there and play PUBG. I don't sit there and play other nonsensical stuff like Call of Duty and everything. But I get bored still, and I do what I can to keep the activity up, whether it just be, sitting there and going, duh, and, some freaking Jedi Academy server or something. It's just fun. You just make it fun somehow. You don't have to force it, it just gets fun. You have those days where you don't want to play, and that's fine. But, sometimes you get
well,
on, you have a hell of a time.
people those of us that have been around since the start of this game understand this, and it cracks me up when the every couple months we have the counselors will all start freaking out because I heard it, I don't know how many times, and Voss can back this up. I don't know how many times I'd get in the council chat one morning because I got woke up by notifications and people are freaking out saying the clan's dying. The
That was
this
mostly me. You can blame me. I'm gonna call myself out right now.
well, it wasn't just you, but
But it was
the
mostly
the
me.
the thing people don't understand is JKA comes in waves. It's seasons for
Mostly
this
with new
game.
movies, and especially with the drought of Star Wars movies in Episode 9 being December of next year, unless it's put up at like May of next year. It's gonna be a rough ride probably because I can tell you like firsthand back in my Jawa days. I don't know why I'm standing up. Back in my Jawa days, um, it would just mostly be The Force Awakens comes out, or no, I wasn't even in the clan by that time. Fuck me. Like The Last Jedi comes out, and we got a big spike of members, and then when like 2 months later, it kind of dies down again, and
You
then
see,
yeah, it just
I think
kind of like that.
the next instance of that happening is definitely going to be when the new season of the Clone Wars comes out.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, I love that show. Oh
yeah,
my
that
god,
show's great.
Well,
that's my
it's
original, bro.
it's a lot of like, okay, yeah, you do have it from like uh external sources as far as like movies and TV shows, but you also have it if Steam puts on
Sale.
a sale, or if you like during the summer and holidays, that's when your younger members are active because they're out of school.
But they'll
And
be
then
on
now that
Fortnite.
we're back in school, we're going to see drops. That's just something that you got to learn over time, and that's why I just kind of sit back and watch the hilarity as people freak out and they're losing their mind. And I just, you know,
I'm glad you take my concerns to heart.
I do. It's fun. But it's just one of those things. I mean, it's something that every new counselor goes through. It's something that you're excited to be counsel. You're excited to be a leader. And then, you expect it to be this one way, and then you find out it's something, it's different. It is a job, and a lot of guys don't understand that. When I don't know how many times I've had people join council, and then they message me on the side like, "Man, this is a lot of work." Like, yeah, I mean, it's a it's literally a secondary job for me. I'm doing this at work a lot of times. Like I'm on the computer, and my boss will walk in and be like, "What are you doing?" I'll tell him, I'm taking care of some clan business, and he just kind of shakes his head and walks off. Like
Imagine
he
that
he
You
happening.
don't
knows.
say that, Ninja. Like you say that you're watching porn on your computer before you tell them that you're dealing with a
Or
video
better
game
yet, if
clan
you want to get
thing
rid
in
of
a
them,
No, I
police
mean,
department.
if you want to get rid of
me
them,
and
you
my
don't say you're watching porn. You say you're watching hentai. That'll
Oh
make it
well,
yeah,
look
me
that's
and
easier.
better. That's better, Branwen. Thank you.
me and my boss are, we're good friends outside of work. So he knows what I'm. He in fact enjoys me coming in saying, like, this is happening, or I've been dealing with this issue or whatever. He gets a kick out of it. So he understands what I'm talking about when I say I'm dealing with clan business. But I mean, it is like it's work, and it's seasons. We'll have times where we have 5, 6 new initiates, and then we'll have times for a month or two we don't have any initiates. You know, it's just people. We just need people not to freak out for that time. That's the
Yeah,
time that we. The way I see it is, you have highs and lows. The low times is when you concrete your foundation. All right, we need to take our current members, get them in places, positions, get them trained, whatever that needs to happen to prepare for the next group of people, you know, and that's what I would hope the members kind of get out of this. Like, okay, this is my chance to get into a position that way when we have new members, I can do something now. It's my turn. That's what we want.
not to sound like an absolute dick, but when I joined council, I felt like I wanted it so bad that when I finally got it, I felt like I was a natural, and I didn't find it to be too much work. Like I didn't find it like myself overwhelmed. Like it was like a quite a bit of like plan work and whatever than you're used to being just like a normal master or whatever. But like it was fun. It was a new chapter for me, just to get some more work in.
Like, when it comes to me and this clan, I've been a knight for for a long damn time, and that's just because I completely disappeared off the face of the earth. Um, but I have aspirations for this. I have a lot of goals that I've set fairly recently. Um, Goal one being that, and this is gonna take a damn long time, but I'm prepared to work for it. I want to master all the saber styles. Um, that's gonna take a damn long time. Um, Obviously, I want to get to master. That's another one. Um, the third one is this is sort of like a long-term goal. It's not like, oh, I just do it and it's done.
Hmm.
I want to do a lot more for the clan. Like I'm doing the podcast. Um, I want to do more for it besides the podcast. Like whether it be, even though I know nothing about this, I could probably look up Google tutorials or something like website stuff or other things like that. Um,
Yeah, we're looking for web admins, man. So you know what?
my
If you're up to it, you work for it, bro.
my highest goal, and this is a really long time from now, I think, and I've been wanting this for a while, no matter what clan I've been in, is actually I've wanted to be a council member. I know that it's an ass load of work, and that I probably won't be prepared for it. I might be, I never know, but I just
Hey, dude, if you want counsel and you're like really set to do it and you put your mind to it and and then you get it, like trust me, I think it won't be as much work as you think. Because if you're like ready for it and you've been working for it, then it'll kind of feel like once you're like kind of across the quote unquote finishing line, it kind of feels like it's like a new chapter and you can kind of like start with like new goals and like new aspirations and
yeah, because
new work to do.
there's when some people join a clan, um, some people go, oh, I want to get to council, but some people, they want to get to council just for the sake of, having the
For the
rank
title.
council. Um, some other people want to become council because they want to better.
Like contribute.
They want to contribute more. They want to better the clan in any way they can. Um, and oftentimes it can be difficult to see if someone's just actually wanting to better the clan or if they're just kissing ass. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be hard to
Well,
differentiate sometimes. I mean, I've had issues with that when I used to play games on my Xbox, and I'd have clans going there. I don't have them going now, but I'd always have issues like that. People would always be coming up to me and kissing my ass because they wanted something, and then I give it to them, and they do absolutely nothing.
well, I think I had this conversation with a buddy. I won't mention names, but he's a clan leader, and he asked me, about how I choose council. And like I told him, I said your council should fill roles and shortcomings that you have. Like, I'm not great at forums. I'm not great at building websites. And then I had Abby, and Abby is amazing at forums. And then I have Niels, and Niels a programmer, and he's good at websites. And I I either put people in place that are already good at something, or I put people in place that I feel like I can grow. Ask Voss. We just had this conversation.
Right.
Um, a lot of time, most of the time, if me and Voss are having a quote unquote conversation in council,
Oh yeah, I love those.
it's normally like an argument, correct? Like
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a really back and forth type of thing.
it's a
But that's
productive
because
argument.
that's because I want to know the way you're thinking. Like if you come to me with an idea or you come to me with a complaint, even, I want to know why you think that way. Like what got you there? I want to know your reasoning. And that gives me an idea of the type of person you are and what motivates you, and like it gives me an idea of what I can expect out of you in the future. So no member of the council, and I'll kind of, I guess, blow my own horn here for a minute. I have a pretty extensive history as far as supervising and leadership and community growing, I guess would be the word. So, like, I look for people that are open to learning and growing, and those are the people I generally look for counsel. If you're giving input, we have open forum meetings, and you're coming in with ideas and inputs and complaints. I don't even care if it's complaints. Like, if you're coming as a constructive person and you're actually trying to better us, those are the people I'm looking for. It's not the people that are always okay, yeah, or always complaining but not giving any type of, okay, this is how I would fix it.
Right.
So that's my suggestion. If you're a knight or you're a master, I mean, we've had knights as council now. That's a new thing. If you're a knight and you're looking for counsel, I'm not saying it's going to happen quick, but that's what I'm looking for. That's what we all look for for new council members is, okay, who's the people that's trying to help us and that's trying to better us. So be active in those type of things.
Pretty much anybody of like knight and up. Mostly, it's just you can be counsel. Just have the dedication, have the right. I guess what could you say? Like, have the right intentions when you're coming into it, and should be no problem. And if you really want it, then you'll probably get it if you really know what you want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, counsel's not for everybody. Just like being a teacher isn't for everybody.
Takes
But
patience.
it takes a specific type of person too. Like it's the same as being a cop. Like not everybody in the world can be a cop. You know, it, anybody could become one, but to be and to stay in it and to be successful at it takes a very specific type of person. And not everybody's a leader, you know, and like not everybody's got those skills and those aspirations. But if you do, then I think it'll come pretty naturally. And I generally will, you know, Voss says it hasn't been overwhelming. It hasn't been too hard, but I don't generally throw like, okay, I got a new council member. I'm going to throw like all of these things on you at one time. You know, I'll give you something small and let you build off of that. And then I'll slowly start to, you know, trust you with more. Okay. Now Voss is, I gave Voss these podcasts. He's now, you know, he's now in charge of those because I've slowly felt him out, and I feel like he's capable and has the ability to do more. You know, so it wouldn't be something like that. Like we wouldn't promote you and then all of a sudden like just throw you in head first. That's not how you grow good leaders. You know, so that's not something you need to worry about in any leadership position in this clan. Generally, I'll stick you with somebody that's a good mentor. Like if you want to be an instructor, I'll stick you with somebody that's already been an instructor that I know is good at it, that you can learn from. And then when we feel you're good enough, then we let you go do it on your own.
I briefly trained a few initiates when I was in the warrior path, but we all know what happened to warrior path. Yeah. I think the only one hurt by that was Jedi Killer. Like when I heard that you guys were like thinking, like contemplating removing it in council chat, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just join counselor, whatever.
And then Jedi Killer was just like, oh no.
Oh no.
Well, you know, can't appease everybody. That's something you gotta get used to.
There's always gonna be somebody who just goes, oh no, we can't have that.
Well, he wanted some merkish for a really long time.
Yeah, but why?
And beggars can't be choosers, you know?
Why would you do that?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, I think. How did that go down? So I think
I remember he was freaking out about it for a while.
Yeah, we lost. We had a bit of like a drop in members, and then we kind of just and then we were just kind of looking in ways that we can just kind of like graze off a bit of like extra weight that we really don't need that could like kind of hold us back, and a bit of that was kind of like having 4 paths was like a bit much. Like warrior was pretty irrelevant. So we just kind of were like, you know what, it's not, we maybe later on when we have more members, but now it's just not a good time with like, I think we had at the time like 16 active members.
Oh yeah.
So we just had the 3 paths, and then that's how it went, and that's how it's going to go.
When it came to Jedi Killer's fixation on the Merc path, I can sort of understand that because I can't tell you how long I've been sitting here and going, please let me wake up and see that there's a Sith Path edition, please.
Oh yeah, that's actually in my notes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the notes right now. I personally would love that because when it comes to like the roleplay section or me as a person, I've noticed that when I watch the Star Wars movies or the TV shows or anything like that, I would go, ew, screw the Jedi, I want nothing to do with that, I'm gonna go to the Sith. Like, that's just me as a person. I've always wanted to have that sort of Sith role instead of running around with the tag of Guardian and Peacekeeper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, I'd be a Qui-Gon Jinn in that. Like, Qui-Gon Jinn was a great Jedi. He didn't believe and all of the hypocrisy the Jedi had. So he was just kind of like a Jedi, but he didn't. He was kind of lax.
Yeah.
Uh, do we want to like go to the next topic, or do we want to
Yeah,
just skip
that's
down to
yeah.
those?
We're rolling into it. Here we go.
I
So
mean,
we
we
got
we can skip down
yeah.
to those.
So you were talking about like Sith path and everything.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
yeah. So like for a while we were really thinking about replacing the warrior. My chair is so loud. Holy shit. Um, we were looking into replacing the warrior path with the Sith path, and it was kind of like that was pretty much how it was going to go for a little bit, and we were just kind of like in discussion about it. And I put up a roadmap a little bit ago. It's somewhere, but I think it was at well, now that I see it's kind of low, but I think at 30 some members on the roadmap, it
Yeah,
said that
that's
we'd
what I
add
saw.
yeah,
Now,
we'd add a Sith path or something like that. But
I just
it's up for debate.
had an idea, right? So we have the paths already set, right?
Hmm.
Why don't we just keep those the same, right? We don't
Yeah.
make an entirely new path for the Sith, but instead we create titles that still follow the three paths that you can select from. Like, for example, I'm a Guardian, but that could be like the Jedi name, and then we can have a Sith name too, where it's essentially the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So you can have that choice, but there's no difference. You know what I mean?
Well, see,
You shooting
this
down,
is
NJ.
where,
I don't like shooting people down. You love that.
well, the problem with the whole Sith thing, and there's a way to do it. It's just you got to be real careful with it.
Sounds like communism.
Back in the day,
What's with you and
we
communism, man?
I don't know. It's really weird. Back in
How's it
back in the
weird?
day,
Okay, listen, dude. Let me tell you a little something about myself, and you can say it's weird all you want. I'm
Okay,
sitting
we
here
will.
in my bedroom, and right maybe 5 or 6 feet away from me, on my back wall, right above my bed, there is
Is a
one
communism
flag
poster.
that is the USSR flag, and to the right of it, there is a flag of Che Guevara. So, you can say that's weird all you want. I don't care, man. Those are my political beliefs, homie, and I love them.
We're happy for you,
well,
man.
getting back out of that because that's not where I want to go. But um, the the clan used to actually split. We used to have two versions of the clan. We had NGN and we had NGN Fallen, NGNF, and they were it was split by dark and light side. The problem with it is people tend to gravitate toward Sith. So you're going to have a path, just like we do right now with Guardian. You're going to have a path that's full, right? And then you're going to have all your other paths are basically useless because you have nobody in them. That's my worry with the Sith path, is that people are going to just gravitate toward that, and then the light side dies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the
Well,
way it
And
was
then we
before.
become a Sith
We
clan.
we had to actually close down NGNF and put everybody back into one because everybody was doing that. Like NGN was dying because everybody was in the
I'm really sorry about my chair, guys. I
it's
feel
all,
bad.
because everybody was joining NGNF. So there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out yet.
well,
You know, there's a
I have an idea.
well, I have an idea too. But I'll
You
let
go
Voss go
first.
first.
You're more passionate about it. You go first.
Okay. Um, you see, your whole worry is if you guys create a Sith sort of section, everyone's going to gravitate towards it, and you're just gonna have a bunch of Darth Vaders and shit running around. Why don't you sort of have like a trial run? Um,
No,
don't
you took
say
my
it's a
idea,
trial run,
bastard.
but have a trial run and see how it goes. And if people start gravitating into it to the point where there's barely any light side left, then just snap it right off. Take a pair of scissors, cut it. And that's how you'll know.
Well, because when we do that, we have people like Jedi Killer that lose their mind.
Well, I mean, I
And,
know I would go ballistic, but that's
you know, and I don't like doing, like, I don't like adding something just to take it away, you know. So to do that, we would have to. Well, first off, I would probably do another poll just to see how the clan feels. But I don't think right now we have enough members for that. Like, that's something that
That's
you
why I
have
said
to
it's like a
have
30-member, 35-member mark thing.
at least.
Yeah.
We have
It was originally at 40 on my roadmap, but like with our traction and growth rate, I feel like that could be a year or so. So I don't know.
I mean, the problem is if you push it too quickly, it'll die, and then you lose it forever. You know, so that's the one thing we have to be careful with.
I feel like we've used the word "die" a lot this podcast.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good word.
It's like how we've talked about communism.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just
people are
human.
going to get really weird opinions about us from this podcast because
We've always
We're
talked
now-
They
about
won't
this
get weird opinions
podcast.
about you guys. They'll get weird opinions about me.
like, they're just going to think we're just a morbid communist clan, and that whatever.
We love death and communism. Please join
Yeah.
NGN today. NGN,
Please join NGN or
NGNclan.com/join.
be sent to the gulag.
Right after I said we're moving into a more democratic or semi-democratic clan. Communism for the
There's
win.
gonna be a literal Cold War inside NGN. We're gonna
But,
have Jedi Killer and his North Korean country.
It's just going to be a one-man army with Jedi Killer.
Please don't give Jedi Killer any bombs.
Yeah, don't give him any ideas because it's dangerous.
Yeah, NGN.
The best part
North
about
Korean
this is I
sect.
know that Jedi Killer's going to watch this, and then he's going to get mad.
No, he's not.
I
I mean, do
know.
you really think he's gonna sit through the 52 minutes we already have recorded?
Yes,
Does he really have that time?
I think he does. You'd
I
be
think he
surprised
does.
Oh.
with how much time he has.
No.
I watch him. Like he'll do
watch
stuff on
him?
Discord or the
That's
but like he'll see like I'll see him like on the server on Discord and he'll like put like counterproductive time into something that he doesn't really go along with, and it's kind of funny.
It's kind of I can't really read him that much. Like when it comes to Jake,
He's a mystery man.
it's kind of like I can't tell if he's trolling or if he's being genuinely serious.
I just don't question him, you know. I just kind of let him just go with
Yeah,
the flow.
I'm
I
pretty
just
sure
let him
that's the
do his
best
thing.
course of action. Just let it
I
happen.
just don't bother him and things turn out
Don't
okay.
poke the Jedi Killer.
Don't don't poke the angry animal, you know.
All right, so what's next on our list?
Let me check. I'm gonna check. list here.
well, we skipped a whole bunch.
I
think we're going to have to. We're already at an hour. I mean, we're going to have to move some of these to the next podcast.
Yeah, we might.
That's a good thing, though.
For
Yeah.
like an hour. That's pretty impressive for a podcast, I gotta
I mean,
say.
Jawas is usually like at least an hour and a half, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could look that up.
Let's see.
Well, let's
covered
move the YouTube feature content from that down to the Sith that we just talked about. Let's move those to the next one. And I think the goals and aspirations would be a good ending here.
All right.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, goals and aspirations for the clan, looking to the clan's future. Obviously, number one, it starts with, generally as a leader, I would want to say it starts with recruitment. But I'm starting to learn that recruitment is a byproduct of just activity. Like, in today's JKA, there's not like huge open servers that you can just go recruit from the multitude of players like there used to be. So like our recruitment goals need to be focused on getting our members, our current members, on the server as often as possible. So I would say our aspirations for the clan in the future, near future at least, is just trying to make our core membership active. That's been our issue so far, is that we don't have like our membership. There's like 5 people that get on regularly, and then the other guys we don't see, but maybe once a month. And I really don't like I know everybody thinks I do, but I really don't like purging the clan. Like I don't like kicking a bunch of people for inactivity.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing we get out of that is, scaring somebody into being active for, a week, and then they disappear again. So that needs to be our focus right now from every level of membership. Is if you're in leadership, find ways to make us get people involved, and then if you're a normal member, find a way to make yourself involved, like get involved. There's a lot of stuff we can do and a lot of stuff we'd like to offer, but we can't do that with only 5 people on the server. So, I mean, just yesterday or the day before, NGN, I mean, we were pretty much packed. Or I say packed. We had like 15 people on the server, and that was just because like a few of us got on, So that's what we need to focus on right now, is getting our membership up and moving.
That's why I came up with the whole idea with like hangout times, so like hangout events where like where I like plan to have like say I'll say, hey, who's up, like I'll add everyone, like, hey, who's up for put date and time here, come on the server and like have a hangout and everything, and then you get like a handful, like say like 5 or 6 people on, and then I'll attract some more people who are browsing through the server browser, and then you just get, and then before you got like 15 people on. So
You see everyone who's going to watch this video, this is all leading towards our eventual plan for just global domination. All right.
Exactly.
Of course.
We start with a clan, then we go to the game, and then we go to like say a city, and then a country,
we start with
and then
clan, then we escape the game. We have rallies across the country, and then leads the Fourth Reich. It's going perfectly. I'm kidding. That's terrible.
Jesus Christ.
I wasn't kidding.
I'm not going there. I'm not. We're not associated with the Fourth Reich or
that
Hitler or anything like that.
We can't really be associated with it if it doesn't exist.
I will make it exist.
No, you won't, Voss. I'd
like to
see you try.
But back to the topic. That I think would be NGN for the inner goals and aspirations, would be membership activity. And hopefully by the next podcast, nudge, nudge, we hopefully will have a big announcement for the external side. We have something that we're working on.
I don't even know what you're talking about, and I'm on council.
No, the council doesn't know. There's only one member of the council that's involved in it.
Is that you?
You should totally tell me.
So no, I mean besides me, one member besides me.
It's definitely.
But we don't want to announce it until it's more concrete. But I think it will promote activity, and then what we tell all of our allies of why we want to be allies is, to bring the community together. And I think this will do both things at one time. But hopefully by the next podcast, I'll have an announcement for that.
Wow.
I just can't do it yet. It's just, like, subscribe, and maybe you'll
Smash
be
that
here
like
for the-
button.
Yeah, smash that like button. Literally slap it with the might of Zeus. All right, that's all.
Slap it in the face.
Are we Allier now? is that what we're going for?
All right.
What is
before-
going
all right,
on, guys?
before
I
we end
just
this
found
off-
out I am adopted.
Before we end this off, I have to give a little bit of a disclaimer here. Everything that I've said that can be considered a little bit different.
Is definitely honest and from the
No,
heart, and
it
you
is
should
all
take
for the
everything he
sake
says
of
seriously.
comedy. I do not believe in the Fourth Reich. I do not sleep under a flag of the USSR and Che Guevara. It's all for the sake of comedy. So that we don't get people in the comments going just, you know, smashing their skulls against the keyboard.
If they should be smashing anything, they should be smashing that like
If
button.
they should be smashing anything, they should.
Smash
Yeah,
that
they should be
subscribe.
smashing that mother like button.
Yeah.
You know, and if you break it, just slap some flex tape on it. Some
Yeah.
flex tape, flex glue. Buy flex tape. It's good for you.
Flex
We are
seal.
not sponsored by flex tape in any way. Although I wish we were. Call me.
That'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I'm almost half paying attention right now because I'm looking at High Taste Snapchat story.
I don't even want to know.
I am right now.
Alright.
I don't even
Seriously,
want to know.
If somebody who watches this video could tweet this to Phil Swift from Flex Tape, that would just that would be really appreciated. Because if NGN can get sponsored by Flex Tape, that would be a really big help. You see, when Voss's lightsaber broke, we threw some Flex Tape on there.
Yeah.
Worked brand new, no issues. Same thing with his Mac computer.
There's not enough flex tape in the world
We're
to fix
also
them.
sponsored by Voss Water.
Honestly.
There's not enough flex tape in the world to fix this piece of shit. Trust me.
But all right, yeah, I think good first podcast there,
All right.
boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job,
Looking
everybody.
Smash that
forward
like
to
button.
Smash
many
that
great-
motherfucking like button. Please. It'll make me feel happy inside. It'll make me smile. And I know you
This
want
is
that.
awkward.
All right, and
Alright, so
We-
that's the
we got
conclusion of the
everything?
first NGN podcast. I hope all of you enjoy it. I hope that you tweet this to Phil Swift, and we'll
Yeah.
see you guys next time.